Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Operation Laythe. I am Southern Wolverine and I'm here with Lori, Jebediah, and Ordos Kerman, leaving Kerbin orbit on our way to the godforsaken rock that is Moho, way, way over here. So let's get some fast forward action going to get ourselves out of Kerbin's SOI and get ourselves to our next maneuver. So I'm just going to show the plotting of this maneuver, I think. We're going to go ahead. Oh no, I passed my descending node. Oh no. I thought I had this timed alright. Apparently not. Well, let's see how close we can get by doing this. That'll get us closer. Well, let me fiddle. Let's just see if I can get an encounter. Ooh, not that way. We're not going to get an encounter. I got something to work with. Let me try what I did in getting back to Kerbin from Jewel, and just fiddle this off camera and see if I can't get lucky, so I don't have to wait all the way till the other side of the orbit. You know, wait 6 months to get my next burn for the inclination correction. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Okay, welcome back. I gave up on the trying to get that luck encounter. It just wasn't happening. The positioning was just all wrong. So we just went halfway around. We're about to complete the orbital inclination burn. See, we're now 194 days into this mission. And we're also about to run out of fuel in one of our booster pod things here. Not sure which is going to happen first. It's going to be pretty close. They're all patiently waiting. Nobody's nervous about this in-space maneuvering stuff. It's just the launch freaks some of them out. Looks like we're probably going to complete this burn before this stage runs out. Maybe. No, we're gonna complete this burn without dumping this engine. Okay, almost there. 40 meters per second to go. 35, 30, etc., etc. Come on, you can do it. Big beast, you. And cut it. That's pretty darn good. And this tank is just about spent. Okay, so now I should be able to basically set up an encounter with Moho quite easily. Now the tricky part about going to Moho, other than its distance from Kerbin, is that it has a fairly small sphere of influence, being a small planet, approximately moonish in size, a little bit bigger I think than the moon. But it is fairly close to the sun, so the two parts of the sphere of influence calculation are the distance between the two bodies and the mass of the two bodies. In this case, the primary body and the secondary body. In this case being the sun, of course, would be the primary, and the secondary is Moho. So there, we got an encounter. It'll be another 61 days. So, we've done this a number of times. We're not going to have to go through this again. I'm going to go ahead and rejoin y'all when I reach Moho, I think. And then we'll do our orbital capture and re-entry together. Actually, it's not re-entry. It would just be entry and landing and such and so forth. In any case, see you in a minute. Alright, we made it. There it is. There's Moho. We got a pretty decent encounter. When I was out in the, system scale zoom, or when I was out in that sphere of influence, it said I was under 100 kilometers. And now that it's entered the sphere of influence, it's of course recalculated, which sort of bothers me that it does that. In any case, we'll just do a little bit of a burn here. Oh, that's turning into a lot of a burn. Wonder if it's not just more efficient to just go straight. Ooh, that's going to be quite the burn. Holy cow. Becoming concerned about my fuel situation here. This took quite a lot more to get here than I expected, honestly. Perhaps if I... Whoa, 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 what the hell was that? Nope, nope, that's not what I want. Come on, give me the blue dot. Come on. Damn, this thing can be really finicky sometimes. Okay. There we go. What happens if, instead of trying to do the velocity, I just burn that way a little bit? Ooh, yeah. See, that's dropped it down quite a bit. That's going to be the most efficient way to drop that down. Ooh, I don't want to drop it down that much. And then at least if I'm... Well, that'll probably crash me into a mountain or something. Then at least I'll be a little bit more efficient on my burn if I'm at a lower, you know, altitude when I do it, because I'll be going faster, and I can then take advantage of the Oberth effect. I'm a little concerned that the next burn I do is going to be problematic, because if it's sizable, and it looks like it will be based on those initial numbers, this stage is going to burn off, and it's going to throw off the timing calculations, and the timing on this next burn, oop, there it is. Not much to see from this direction, honestly. In any case, the next burn is going to be fairly precise. It's going to have to be in order to make, you know, a nice clean orbital entry. So this might get a little bit ugly. I'll just have to start the burn early and see where we end up. Not sure quite what else to do. So this is only a 42-second burn, and it's coming up in 10 minutes. You know what? I'm just gonna line up with this, like, and just watch the map as I do this burn, and just kind of do it manually. I just wanted to make sure that this maneuver made sense before I attempted it. I'm not really intending to follow that exact node. Okay, so let's just light the engines up a bit. This should come down fairly readily. It's only on the order of 150 meters per second. Wow. Yeah, this next burn is looking like a couple kilometer per second burn, as we're at 3,800 meters per second already, and we're going to do nothing but speed up, of course, as we get lower here. I'll have enough fuel to do it. I'm just a little concerned about how much will be left for the return, and as I've already said, the timing of this burn. We'll just have to see. Not much I can do but that. Okay. Alright, so that's gotten us down. See, look at this. We're coming in so fast, we're hardly even turning at all as we go past the planet. So that's not a great sign in terms of how much it's going to take to get this. If we had an atmosphere on this planet, it'd be a lot better. Whew, 15 minutes. And that's going to be longer than that even, because... yeah, I'm going to drop a stage. Huh. Well, okay. So I'm just going to start burning on this really early, and we'll see what happens, I guess. This one's making me a little nervous. Now, these last 4 engines will actually have a lot of fuel. But at that point, we've got a lower thrust to weight ratio than we've had previously, because we'll be dumping 8 engines, and we won't be losing that much weight because all these tanks will be empty by then. Well, let's just fast forward. I'm going to do this. Get this burn started really early. It's a 15-minute burn, and I'm gonna start it like 20 minutes early. Or yeah, I'm just gonna start this really early. Maybe 15. Let's not go quite that far. Because look at how fast we're going. We're gonna escape the planet in an hour. Okay, that goes to two things: the small size of the sphere of influence and the fairly incredible speed we're coming in here at. I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on this periapsis. See, it's coming down, which we're just gotta make sure that doesn't get too low. Might have to reorient as we go through this burn. Ooh, okay. You're scaring me, maneuver. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and skip forward again, and we'll see if something interesting starts to happen, or as we start passing the periapsis, I'll come back and catch you up on the craziness that's going on. Here we are, so close to our target. 47 kilometers away. And rising, unfortunately. I've passed my periapsis. And you guys are fortunate. You did not have to watch that 25 minutes of maneuvering that I was just doing. Yeah, that 15-minute maneuver, as soon as I dropped those engines, turned into... Keep in mind, I'd already burned for a few minutes. Maybe 4 minutes before I dropped those. And then when I dropped them, suddenly it jumped up to a 23-minute burn, making this the better part of a half hour firing the engines, unable to really do any fast forward, and pretty much having to watch this the whole time to keep my periapsis from dropping low enough that it's going to run to the planet. Now, I've basically abandoned using my maneuver node at this point, and I'm just kind of eyeballing this in. And really, I'm just burning at my anti-velocity vector right now, just trying to get a capture. Once I get some kind of capture, then I can refine this. Actually, there's really not much point in holding on to this anymore. Just want to check. Yeah, it's actually... The node's actually getting confused. Even though I am doing the right thing, I am getting capture, so I'm just going to get rid of that. Even though the node thinks I'm going backwards, because we've sort of wrapped around, it's gotten confused. This burn is so long. So any moment now, any moment we should get capture. So, and as we go over surveying this, some pretty rough terrain on Moho, so we're going to want to aim for one of these nice sandy looking areas, or dunes, or rather craters or something like that. It's going to be nice and smooth to land in. We do not want to try to land there. That would be just asking for trouble. Oh, we have capture. Oh, sweet. Sweet capture. Alright, so I'm just going to let it go around and then do a circularization burn here so I can get another nice plotted maneuver in. Come on. Oh, not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. Don't want to get too low. We don't know how tall the mountains are here. And we want to give our lander time to, land instead of crash. Crashing is not as fun. Not as fun at all. Aha, look, fine controls using the mouse wheel. Oh wow, that was not as fine as I thought it was. I just want to get this somewhat close to circular so it's going to be easier to rendezvous with later. Of course, I got an unmanned capsule on here, so I can always do corrections to that if we want. The good news is that burn didn't use all that much fuel, because with these 4 engines, it's actually quite efficient now that we're not firing so many engines all at the same time. And now we've got a nice leisurely 3-day loop before the next burn. So I guess there's not much to say about this mission so far, except that, well, you don't know until you try. It's the short version, I guess, of the the lesson from this. Oh, okay, so now we're whipping back around here nice and quickly. So I'm gonna have to get this burn set up. It reminds me of these stories, the books, the documentaries, etc. that I've read of the early space flight, particularly early manned space flight, where they were literally writing the book on space flight as they were trying things out. You know, a lot of it was unfortunately trial and error, and the reliability of some of those early rockets was not very good at all. Let's just go ahead and start this burn and get ourselves dropped down into a nice circular orbit. Yeah, I actually had the opportunity, the privilege, short time ago to listen to a presentation by Gene Kranz, who, for those of you who don't know, he's probably best known in the broad culture as the mission controller, the flight director for Apollo 13. He was in the movie The Guy with the White Vest. But in any case, I got to listen to a presentation. We got a copy of his book for participating, and it's interesting when you hear them talking about just how rudimentary those early facilities were. I mean, they didn't even have a computer at what would be the Kennedy Space Center, although when they were first starting the Mercury missions, it wasn't even called that yet. Just interesting as to how much, I mean, think about it, you've just created a brand new field of travel, a very complicated and dangerous one at that. And you've got a bunch of guys, young guys mostly, former pilots, former test pilots, some computer guys, mathematicians doing longhand math to calculate orbits and trajectories and things like that. It's just impressive what they are able to do, I guess, with so little of what we now take for granted when it comes to spaceflight. With computers everywhere, and you can run tons of mission simulations fairly quickly. You know, you don't, of course, didn't have all the engineering tools that we have. A lot of trial error in the rocket development, which is, of course, a lot of Germans who were in the V2 weapons program, including the Werner von Braun would be the most famous of them. Of course, came over to the United States, became residents, if not citizens, most of them, and helped to develop a lot of the early American space program rockets. So that was a leg up, at least there. But even then, it's a lot different sending a man to space or sending a bomb to people that you don't much like. A lot of different challenges involved. Speaking of challenges, we have now finally made it to Moho. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and we're just gonna go for a landing. What I'm gonna try is perhaps for some of these flats down here. These look relatively flat. It looks like there's some slopes and things going on. It shouldn't be too bad. If I'm really lucky, maybe I'll get a shot at this crater. So what I'll do is I'll detach rather up about here, do my burn from the lander, and then try to land, if I can, in this crater, although it's going to rotate out from under me in all likelihood. Alright, so I'm going to quick save in case something dumb happens along the way. Going to go ahead and now see, I've actually got a decoupler here that I need to disconnect. And the reason for that, I put that in there, is because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be transferring fuel through these large connectors. And this is the kind of connector that will split off of both sides, so I can come back and reattach later. And there's a connector here so that when I redock, I can transfer any leftover fuel from the lander back into here to help me get home. Disconnect again, get rid of it, and then bring the capsule down and connect. That's the plan anyway. We'll just have to see how that goes. Alright, so we've got the quick save. I'm going to go ahead and dump the stage and we'll see what happens. It looks good. Let's transfer over. What the heck happened there? Did this just try to redock on us or something? What is going on? What is going on? Okay, we seem to have reconnected. I'm not entirely sure how that was supposed to... The magnet... Oh, we did! We somehow managed to dock through the debris. Okay, let me just, use the RCS, which I deactivated while we were in transit. Yeah, when I switched vehicles, I think what happened is it tried to... It thought I was trying to dock, because while I was controlling this one, it was like, oh, okay, we're separating, so the little clamp magnets aren't going to do anything. But then when I switched to the other one, it sort of got confused and just tried to dock. It's like, oh, that must be what he was trying to do. He was trying to dock. Of course, now this debris is kind of stuck to me. Why don't I just load? I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem later, and I'd rather not take my chances. Okay, so now that I know that that's the sort of thing that can happen, we'll do our disconnect and then use our RCS thrusters, which I must once again... Oh! Curses! No, gotta hold it. Come on, give me the quick save. Okay, so in order to do this right, I'm gonna have to make sure I activate these monopropellant tanks for disconnecting. Activate RCS. Detach this stage, and we'll burn away before it gets to reattach us. Get a little bit of distance. Okay, there. Now it should be okay. So now all I'm going to do with this one is take this and rotate it just so that debris goes away from us. And we'll be able to redock with this. This is going to go ahead and it's going to be fine. It'll be stable. Oh yeah, that's right, guys. I wanted to control the debris. Thank you for that, Kerbal Space Program. All right. We have achieved disconnect. Okay. No, we're good. We're good. Alright, so we'll activate those engines and get ready for our maneuver, which I'll plot in right about here. Hopefully that crater will still be a viable target after the planet does some rotation. How low is that? That's a little too low. I don't want to... Whoop, so I'll make it lower. That's the way to do it. That's brilliant. Brilliant! Okay. That'll work, I think. Oh, I accidentally shift my focus to Moho. Well, that's okay. It actually works out at this stage. All right. Okay. Let's just fast forward to our burn. This is a short burn. It's probably going to be on the order of a few seconds, which is going to be nice. Nice change of pace after burns. The shortest of my recent burns was 8 minutes long, followed by a 15-minute burn, followed by a half-hour burn. So what has been, probably 15 or 20 minutes for you guys has been something like an hour and a half or more for me. So I'm just going to do this burn, and it's going to come down quickly. And we are all going to celebrate. See, now Lori and Oros are concerned due to our proximity to the planet. They're like, oh no, we're going for a landing. And Jeb's like, hooray, we're going for a landing. Crazy man that he is. Hopefully we can match the inclination of this vehicle when we come back up. But for now, farewell to you. And now I'm trying to remember what group those landing gear were set on. 2? Yes! It was group 2! Got it right. And my landing lights. Okay, so those are the ground operation lights. And the landing lights are 8. So those are my high beam lights that I'm going to use for the approach. So let's go ahead and leave them on. And then I've got that other set of lights to act as the lights to operate the ground around the vehicle should we end up in darkness. There was a whole plan. It's sort of coming together. Come on, Crater, stay underneath my orbit, please. Really would like to land at a low spot if I can. Hopefully that's not too close to the surface there. Well, we'll just have to find out. See, it's it's shortening up my fast forward. We're low enough. Okay, let's pop over to this. See just how low we are. It's even hard to see. Look at how dark it is. Ooh, it's zipping by pretty good. Ooh, you can see the, and maybe I don't want to look at that view. It's scaring me a little bit. Okay, so we got a couple minutes here. Well, it won't be a couple minutes at fast forward, but it'll be long enough. I may want to burn off to this side a little bit in order to try to get a little more into this crater and not risk landing on this, what might be a fairly significant slope right underneath my trajectory there. Okay. And now's as good a time as any to see it. Whoa. Yeah, we are low. Okay, it's time to get this boy turned around, turn retrograde, and start slowing us down. Slowing us down. Come on, come on, you can do it. Okay, let's lock it in. Just burn, 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 burn. Let's go to a camera that's not gonna... There we go. Auto camera. There we go, that works, that works. Alright, that's coming down. It's coming down nice. And let's get a look out in front of us at the terrain. Yes, I'm gonna point off to the north just a bit. Try to get down here a little bit more instead of landing up there. It looks a little rougher over there. Just a little bit, but the cumulative effect of pointing this way for a while should start to bring our landing point over to the right. We're still going quite fast. I'm gonna have to play this pretty carefully. Ooh. Wow, this is a lot darker than the moon. It's like a... it's kind of tannish up there, but it's tan and brown, and whereas the moon is nice and white and gray and kind of neat looking, and this planet's a little more depressing. Some of these places are cooler to visit than others, I gotta admit. And after Laythe, almost anything would be kind of disappointing. It's like home away from home, Laythe is. I'm actually going to point up a little bit to try to maintain altitude. A little concerned about the fuel situation. But nothing for it but to wait and see. Okay, it's not as bad as this little indicator would show. These things are kind of pessimistic at times. It sure looks like there I'm running out of fuel, when in fact I've got 80-some% left. No. It would be nice if you could get a delta V counter built in to not just know how much fuel you have left, but get an estimate of how much delta V you've got. That would be a useful tool. Or even just in the development, have a delta V indicator for when you build the rocket, how much velocity you can get out of it. Oh boy, okay, let's this making me a little nervous. Getting very, very low. At least it looks really low. We'll find out. If I see lights on the ground, I know I might be in a little bit of trouble. Okay, we're getting slowed down though too, so not all bad. And I'm not at full throttle either, so I could have attacked that a little bit more aggressively. Okay, let's reduce throttle and just sort of settle in here. We seem to have killed off most of our horizontal velocity, which is good news. Oh, I actually overdid it there a bit. Let's push that back. Come down dead vertical. We are on surface, so I won't get into that situation where I was in the wrong velocity viewing mode when I tried to land on Minmus, I believe it was. Only to find that, yeah, I was going at 0 horizontal speed relative to the, normal reference frame. But the ground, of course, was whipping by underneath me at several meters per second, thus making my landing a little more, suicidal than I would have liked. Okay, so the shadow should be somewhere over there, coming in pretty steep. We might actually be able to see the light from our spotlights before we see the shadow. Should be coming up here before too long. The spotlights have a pretty good reach. We're about 1 kilometer up now, probably a little less. Come on, give me a clue, give me a clue. What's my altitude? A radar altimeter that's viewable from this screen would also be a handy feature. Okay, there we go. There's a light. 25 meters per second. Let's slow it down. Slow it down. Nice and easy. Really would be nice if I could get this in one shot. Make it look like I know what I'm doing. Okay, let's not slow down too much because I don't want to get off the vertical here either, which I'm doing a little bit. Alright, let me do a little bit of RCS for lateral. A little less throttle. Come on, come on. Stay focused, Jeb. Stay focused, Jeb. You're the man. You're the man. Bit of a side slope here. Bit of a side slope. Let's slow it down so that we don't tip or anything. Nice. Stuck the landing in one. Hooah! All right. Landing lights off. The working lights on. All right. Let's get these guys out. Celebrate a little bit. Extend the ladder. Oh, and that ladder I kept extended the whole time. Ooh. You know, it now occurs to me that I did not actually test if I'll transition from the ladder to the other one. Gravity should be low enough here that I can jump back in if need be. So we'll let the Explorer Jeb try it out first. Good luck here, buddy. Turn your headlamps on. I know you forget sometimes. Oh, okay, that transition worked just fine, and we had plenty of distance to get to the ground. Hooray! And of course, Jeb likes to fall onto the ground. Whee! Oh, and there's enough gravity here I can actually run. And he's still got a pretty good jump. Alright. Now let's quick pop back and get his buddies out here to join him. Whee! We're coming, Jeb, we're coming. That was a little more nerve-wracking than I expected it to be. Had a little bit of horizontal there, picking up at the end. I don't know if you saw it or not, but at that point it was a little too late to do anything more than try to correct with RCS just a bit. Proved to be just enough. We landed with a little bit of lateral, but it was only probably less than a meter per second. So our gear were strong enough to take it, and they seem to have sunk into the terrain. Must be pretty soft stuff here. So in any case, congratulations to the crew, Ordos, Lori, and of course Jebediah Kerman. So, from the surface of Moho, I am Southern Wolverine, with our intrepid crew, wishing all of you a good day.